Call to order. Adoption of agenda 2.1 recommendation.
That council adopts the agenda.
Can I get a second? Discussion? All in favor? Adoption of minutes 3.1 recommendation.
That council adopts the minutes from the regular council meeting held on August 17th, 2022.
Second. Discussion? All in favor? Introducing of late items, none. Public hearing, none. Delegation, 6.1 recommendation on council hears a delegation for the museum. Can I have a seconder? Come on up, Lester, Joe, whoever's going to be doing the speaking.
Come on up where?
Would you like the podium?
Thank
You
you.
want to grab
There's the podium.
No, I don't need a podium.
Okay, sure.
Just don't make me stand for too long. First of all, any specific questions about the museum's function in this town? What we do?
No, I think that you guys are doing an awesome job.
Okay. We do, but
Do you want to stand over there?
I don't know.
You can't stand in front, yeah, he has to stand on the side, sorry. Because of the camera.
Oh, okay.
You got it? No, I just wondered because I was just asking Leslie, we were kind of going over some things, and the youngest person in our volunteers, which I don't see any of them here, but the youngest person in our volunteers looking after that museum is 65 years old. You know, we're at Ouija, and we're still doing it, and we have been doing it since way back when that society was formed. And we're going to make missteps, and we're going to do things, but you know what? We protect our artifacts because we own them. And the maintenance of facilities, we don't own. It's a real hard place to sit in the middle of. If maintenance of facilities isn't up to snuff, then our artifacts get damaged. It's kind of as simple as that. So there's been a little conflict here lately about the things that we may or may not do across the street there that are compatible with the union or people's opinions, whatever. Okay. Just to kind of outline a little bit of what we do, and I'm sure you all know what we do. But the functions that we put on, I'm only going to go back to this time last year. We put on the Halloween function, it was well attended. A couple hundred bags of candies went before 7 o'clock. People from all over, and not just Poo's Coogan, but all the outlying area, Dawson Creek, people came, you know. It was a good function. We did that, you know. And the light up last year wasn't attended by a whole bunch, but we were part of that. Coffee, cake, you know. We do, you know. And our little old group of volunteers just step up to the plate constantly, you know. But step up to 2022, we had our grand opening. It was very successful. We had a pancake breakfast. We had a bit of a yard sale up there. It wasn't much, but it wasn't up to our normal amount. But, you know, COVID and all the things that have been going on, it's hard to transition from nothing to full speed ahead. And it was a step in the right direction. We did that. And what else I got down there? Oh yeah, and the car club, local car club come out, attended our function, and set their cars up there for people to come and look at. And, you know, like just another thing that the little museum over there does with its group of aged people. Then we just transitioned into normal museum operation after our grand opening. Clean up, flowers planted one of the beds in the middle of the yard. The yard here list is, and ongoing repairs, you know, little things that happen on the site over there. We're just trying to keep up with stuff, and that's what you as a group, it's a 5 us the ability to do with your budget, with our budget through you. And we do our best to keep up and meet our commitments that are spelled out in that. After that, because of COVID, we had a harvest tea that was canceled. We put that on this summer. Kind of because we had to, in a sense that people had donated huge amounts of stuff. And we're sitting on it because we weren't able to put that function on last year. And so we chose to go ahead and put it on this year. We didn't call it anything special, just a tea. But all the things that we normally do in our harvest tea went on. And the prizes were given out, and it was a success. Another success. Silent auction, bake sale, it was all there. 1st of July, we prepared a float, put it in parade, candy to the kids, cake and coffee, the museum was open. Just another community function that we do. We're glad to do, I should put,
And we appreciate it.
Hmm?
And I said we appreciate it, and so does the community.
Thank you for that. Put a float in the Dawson Creek Parade, and had a showing there, and basically showcasing Kustuki, and that's what we do. That's what we've done. So for the rest of the season, our plans are basically a mirror image of last year, in that we'll put on a Halloween function, and we will do whatever it takes for a light up and a display, and that's more or less a recap of our year.
Thank you,
So-
Joe. The concern is that Les and Red want to fix the trapper's cabin. I've known these two gentlemen my whole entire life. One, Les happens to be my husband's uncle, and Les has done many, many roofs. He's worked on our roof. He's worked on my mother-in-law's roof. My husband has worked with him on his own roof. We used to have family work bees, building roofs and building homes and helping each other out. And Red has built many, many homes. I don't see any problem in them working on that building.
I don't see any problem either. I know that professionally you aren't going to get any better. It doesn't have to be my opinion. You can ask just about anybody around town that's ever had Red do any work for them. And it's professional. It's totally professional, and I'm not too worried about that. I have a little side point, I guess you might say. That cabin was actually given to the Museum Society back in 1973. I don't want to date myself, I wasn't around it for that. But anyhow, it was actually. And is it covered under your insurance policy?
I think so.
It is covered under as a building under the insurance policy?
So how come it wasn't checked with the hailstorm? I wasn't in charge of that.
Who was in charge of that?
Sandy?
Sandy was in charge of that?
Who was in charge?
No?
That would have been the previous CAO.
And whoever the curator was at the time over there?
Yeah.
Oh, but-
Well, Les was a curator over there, were you not, Les?
In the hailstorm?
With the hailstorm, you were the curator, were you not?
No, I-
Hailstorm?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. you
Yeah,
were.
he was.
So he would have had to deal with the previous CAO.
Lots of pictures.
They would have had to deal, they would have talked to the previous CAO.
Um,
Because my question was, how come it wasn't brought up when the other roofs were done?
I did ask, same, but this roof never got put on insurance as well. Money.
So the question is, the building, does it belong to the village, or does it belong to the Museum Society,
Well,
sitting on village property?
You know what, as far as I'm concerned, it belongs to the village.
It does belong to the village?
Because they've been the ones, if it's insured by the village, who's going to contest that? Because if there's an insurance policy sitting on it, I don't want the museum society to have to pick up that insurance policy, why would I?
Over that
You know, for the ownership of the building. But the problem that we're sitting here moaning about is whether we can fix the upholstery or the roof on that building that's wrecking our stuff that's inside of it. You know, and that's the decision that should be made. Now, there's a timely way to fix that roof. The society agreed to pay for the materials to fix that roof.
Yeah.
You know, this is not like,
So,
you know, and nobody's, excuse me, Maureen, just for a second, nobody's compensation commitments are put in jeopardy over this. And it'll get done. It'll get done in a day, I would imagine. It's not a big job. Go ahead.
I have two questions, so let me see if I'm understanding this correctly. So the society would like to pay to have the roof done by paying for the materials, and then Red and Les would then put the roof on
That's all.
for the trapper's cabin. That's,
Yeah.
so I guess my two questions is, do either Red or Les own a roofing business? Like, how would that work for insurance? That's my concern is the insurance aspect of things.
What's insurance?
Well, if something were to happen and somebody were to be injured, like they fall off the roof or something
WC.
happens,
you're talking WC.
then the village could be liable
Okay.
if they're hurt.
We carry a WCB on us.
But this is outside the job of a curator. So
No,
like
it-
WCB would count for a curator, would it not? But like not for if Les is being also a roofer. Like they're two different.
Why?
Well, because in the job description of a curator, does it cover roofing or construction work?
Covers care of your facility.
Maintenance.
Maintenance?
Facility is what he is. He's a maintenance for the facility.
Okay. And then I guess my second question would then be is with them doing the roofing, don't we have to get like 3 quotes? I'm not trying to shut you down or nothing. I'm just saying, isn't that how it normally works? Like we have to have
If we
3
put
quotes?
it out to bid.
Don't we have to legally put it out to bid?
No, because you're not doing it. The society's doing it, and the society doesn't legally have to.
Danny,
do it.
are you, excuse me, are you under the impression that we're sending a bill for doing this?
No, I'm not.
Because this is voluntarily.
Yeah, no.
self-funded.
I understand that you're volunteering. I think if we set a precedent of picking and choosing which rules we're gonna wanna follow, then that's not good either. Like, it's pretty stated in black and white, I thought, but we had to have 3 quotes. That's what I,
Not if it's volunteer and it's a society that's doing it. The thing is the society is doing it and they're doing it for free. Now, you guys are talking quotes, that means that the village would have to pick up the tab. And as taxpayers, I think, as a taxpayer, I feel that they should be able to do it because they both know carpentry.
So what's the concern from staff or the union's perspective to having the society do it? Because I know it's happened before within the community that a society is constructed or maintenance property.
Money.
Can I speak to that?
Yep.
This started out as a concern with the roof on the trapper's cabin. And I've gone down and I have viewed it, and yeah, I mean,
Well, I understand
it really,
maintenance.
no, it really needs to be repaired. So I spoke to our CAO, and our CAO said that in order to fix the roof, to replace it, which it does need to be replaced, we would have to go into next year's capital and special project. So that was where it sat, and as I'm standing there speaking to the museum curator, I said, could we agree on perhaps a tarp until next year when we will put it will be on capital and special projects for the following council that's coming up. And, yeah, that's all right. And so I informed the CAO that, yeah, well, let's just do a tarp. And then it changed, and it's changed again. So the flow just isn't going here, and the communication. Because I understand your point right now, which is that the museum would,
We'll do it.
yes.
I mean, we'll figure it out. Where's the downside?
Back to my original question, thanks for the pictures actually. Is there an issue with it from like staff or the union perspective that if we allow them to do it, that it's gonna violate something from that perspective?
Pardon?
Oh,
Sorry.
so if we allow them to go forward and do the repairs, because I'm just looking at the pictures here, I'll pass them around. And yeah, like they get on it now, it's gonna save a lot of money down the road because like it's just the edges and the roof itself that are pretty rough shape, but they get on it sooner rather than later, it's gonna save a lot of money down the road. So is it gonna be one of those things that's an issue with the union or staff if we allow them to do it?
We talked to Public Works now because they don't have the manpower to do it. We would have to put it out for bid because we would have to get 3 quotes.
Does it have to have been for the associations taking it on and doing it themselves?
No, the association's doing it.
So really, it's a good one.
Is there any other damage other than the roof? If it's been leaking, do we have an inspection of the walls or what's below the?
The pictures there, you'll see it.
We'll see what the issue is.
That's
The repairs are done on it.
All the
What it needs
repairs
are
are done.
shingles.
All the repairs are done except for the roof now. So the roof is what needs to be taken place.
Are you looking at putting back on and see your shakes again, or are you looking at doing 10, or?
It's in steps. I cut the rock out of it, and that's old engine and made board.
No,
We had a bunch from a parade float of Winnie Edge. Trimmed it down and made boards out of it. It's screwed on there, solid, the rock's cut out of it.
Yeah, what do you want to do for the new roof?
Put shingles on, the rubber shingles, so it's all cedar.
Okay.
In this country, cedar, no good anyways.
So I'll put a
We get
motion
a
on the floor.
hailstorm, same thing that happened here. We'll have to
Yeah.
begin.
Point of order, we don't do motions in front of the delegations. We discuss it after.
Okay. Thank you for bringing the pictures.
Yeah, no, that's, you thank Les for that. He,
Them pictures were sent to the village office a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago too. That you guys should have seen them.
Okay, we will.
Another thing before we go too far, Blair did come over with Sandy and said they weren't interested in that building. And Buddy come after. Yes, he did.
Pardon me?
He said he wasn't interested in what I fixed. Remember the day
Who
you
said
got
that?
with Blair? When Blair come over and I said, can I put the fascia board on it?
Yeah.
And Blair said, we have no problem with it. We have no,
Yeah, he said we don't have a problem
with
with
it
it. He was
putting it
still
on. Well, that's
concerned
what
with
I
it.
meant.
Well, he was-
And that's what I did. I cut the rod out of it and put the
Yeah,
fascia
we
board
told you to
on.
go ahead and do that.
Okay, well, that's what I did.
Okay.
That's
so
what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
see
But
the-
Sandy, every time I do something over there, why do you have to come over here screaming?
I did.
Okay, let's-
I'm sorry.
Point of order,
That's
point
good.
of order left. That's
Yeah.
enough, enough.
turn the heat down.
Turn your heat down. Thank you for coming, and we will talk about this, for sure, and sign you away.
Fair enough. Okay, thanks for hearing us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Les, thanks, Joe.
You bet.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
7, unfinished business rising from the minutes. New business, 8.1 recommendation. Barb.
The council cancels the council meeting that is to be held on October 5th, 2022 due to that's polling.
Can I get a second? Second. Discussion? All in favor? 8.2 recommendation, Marcel?
The council receives the MIA loss control report for information.
Get a seconder?
Second.
Discussion? discussion? Art? No, I'm just asking for if anybody wants discussion. And I see everybody's looking at their things, so. All in favor?
So
Oh,
before we
sorry.
go on, so the issues that were noted in the MIA report, those are all been addressed or being addressed? compared to the signage and stuff?
Yes.
And with some of the signage, I've noticed one of the things was the ballpark. Mentioned signage in there. So is that something that you're looking into working with TJ with the signage
So
that they're
there's,
looking at?
it's two different signages. One,
Oh.
that they've suggested putting signage for usage hours, so like dawn till dusk type thing, and the name of the park. And that was about it. Oh, and then who to call if there's a problem, so our office number,
Oh.
because it goes to her, and then 911 for an emergency. So we have, like I said in here, we have money available to us through a grant through MIA. We have an account, but so much money goes into it so we can use that money. I don't know if this sort of ties into this whole thing, but I actually did have a few people mention to me that there's no through road sign, by the way, over on the road leading down to 11 Pizza. And so they're getting a lot of summer traffic where people are going down there and then they can't turn around. Could we get a no through road sign at the top up there? Because I guess somebody's motorhome almost got hit because this guy in a big boat and he was trying to turn
I
around.
can't see that sign.
So
there is a
So they come from the
side.
backside.
Oh, you know, yeah, coming from the
Yeah.
backside there. Yeah, there's nothing. There was one, so it's gone missing. There was one put up in the barricades.
Because I did go look, and there wasn't one at the top, and I was like,
Okay, we'll get Public Works. to look
And
at
for
it.
signage, Sandy, can we get a Ministry of Transportation to put right by the school, 30 mile an hour sign? 30 or 30
It's
kilometer.
within the distance where they're supposed to have it.
Yeah, but it's farther down, so by the time you come down by the school, you see that sign.
I think it's supposed to start there.
There's no, it's gone.
Which
The
side?
The sign is, there's no 30 kilometer an hour, just our.
Yes, there is. It's on the left-hand side of the road. I just looked at it today.
Didn't see it.
I just
Doesn't
looked
say
at it.
30 kilometers big enough then, I need
Well, it's
bigger
a
glasses.
it's a typical school sign. I looked at it. It's there.
Maybe double check if it's there.
Well, it was there at 4:30.
And then the signs and stuff, we're gonna straighten out the public works is going around and straighten out all the stop signs and cementing in, so there's.
When they have a chance, they will, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Speaking of signs, I like the way you put the banner below the village sign. That really catches your eye when you're coming in.
Did anybody notice that it blew off on the weekend? Skylar was on her way back into town on Sunday and it was flapping in the wind.
I noticed it was a little wrinkly, but I wasn't.
Skylar took it down and Public Works had to reinforce it yesterday because it got blown off.
I never saw it.
It's under the museum
Good,
sign,
yes.
actually. It's the museum sign. It's
It
under.
looks really good.
Thank you. Pauline designed that.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. All in favor? Any correspondence? And Sam has up his hours, has he?
Bylaw officer, yes.
Yes. Dan?
Oh, no, I think it was for me.
I'm sorry. So yeah, I was reading through, the minutes that were included in this for bylaw officers and that sort of thing. Those are not, that was prior to us going to sign those hours, because I noticed it's still like 15 hours before. That's what it's-
Well, hang on,
So,
we're on
yeah,
it.
those are,
I will confirm with him.
Okay.
But yes, it should each mention. Thanks. You're welcome.
Is that $15 a week?
Yeah, 15. Yeah, no, we had asked him to increase it to 20, so I'll talk to him.
I had a conversation with a resident last week who had brought it to my attention. I did tell him to contact the village office, I'm not sure if they have, but
They were given like a warning and a ticket on their yard, like all in one go. There was no like pre-warning of like, hey, if you don't mow your lawn in such and such time or take care of your yard maintenance in such and such time, you'll get a ticket. They received a warning and a ticket at the same time. And
That's unacceptable, but they're,
they were under the understanding that they were supposed to be receiving a warning first with a certain date, amount of time before they,
well, you can write in Sandy's little book the name of that person. And Sandy can follow up and see
I will
what
follow up with staff.
was
See if
done
anything's-
and take place. If you want to just bring your little name there or anything.
yeah.
Okay. And then this was Northeast BC Community Foundation. Sandy, what's this all about?
This is the financial statements, technically, that you asked for. I don't know much about it, other than this is the financial statement.
I can't remember why I asked you for them. That's cute.
This was the, it's that fund that we contribute to, and we get so much out.
Isn't this for poultry?
No,
No.
this includes
the
poultry,
50
but,
grand that the previous mayor put into.
right, and we get X number of dollars.
Yeah, we
Goes
get
to this different, the Northeast BC Community Foundations grant.
Right, so the interest is available now?
Well, the interest is available.
Right. Or,
You have to nominate somebody or don't, something like that, don't you?
yes, you do have to nominate someone.
Nonprofit groups can apply for grants, and also through COVID, they got a big chunk during COVID, and the church here got $7,000, but there's going to be another amount coming, so any nonprofit group that is in Pooskoopi can apply.
So can the Legion apply for that? Because they're a nonprofit. It has two sides to it, so I'm not sure. They can apply. Sure. So? We get some
It's
two-sided
okay.
deals.
It's okay.
Lost it almost half an hour.
You know, Counselor Whittle said he was just gonna get you some Velcro.
And I know.
So he's let you down.
I have those ones.
Anything else? Okay, resolutions done, bylaws done, administration reports, CAO report.
I have it. It's in there. That's all I have to say this year. Busy with elections.
It's busy.
Busy with elections.
Okay, action items, anybody see anything on the action items?
Oh, yes, got two questions on it.
Oh, yes, I saw that, yeah.
Did you read them? Can we?
Go ahead, read them. Read them all.
So, one of them was about arranging delegations with Telus and Shaw.
Pardon?
One of them was about arranging delegations
Yeah.
with Shaw and Telus to come and speak to us about connectivity,
Right.
of which we have not been able to get a hold of anybody. And PRB is working on connectivity. Can we take this off the list now?
Sure, and maybe reach out to,
That's you. The rest of council, are you okay with us taking this off the list?
yes, all in favor? Can you read, but the promotion on the floor that you reach out to Tyra to include us in there to make sure that we get information, right?
Somebody want to second that?
Can I get a second here?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Okay.
And the second question was, way back in February, Councillor Smith, you had asked for a letter of support to the PRB, but we were kind of unsure of what the letter was about.
I thought it was for July 1st, and that was,
So this was something way before. So, given that nobody seems to remember what this is about, can we take it off?
All in favor?
I'm trying to clear this list. Okay, and in regards to the BC Honors Awards, the deadline was yesterday. So neither one got nominated because I did not have all the information I needed. I only got one letter of support. So, but I can keep working on it. So if you're still out there trying to get those people to provide letters of support, as soon as I have everything together, I can nominate them for next year. And it's an ongoing thing. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. And now I don't have anything else to say.
You only need 2 letters.
Yes, minimum 2 letters.
So you're good to go?
Yes, and, okay, yeah.
Actions.
You made a capital special project?
We're still at that.
Oh,
Oh, no, mine's for the other thing.
Okay, capital special project.
Okay. Number 20, the steamer for Public Works, didn't that get sold?
Not yet.
I've got it already.
Oh,
I don't have anything yet.
okay, never mind then. No.
Anything else? Counselor's calendars?
Oh, yes, I want to update you. So I want to update you on a couple things. Zoning bylaw. It was supposed to come back to you today, but we found some more discrepancies in it, so we are waiting until October.
Okay, can we also do that one I talked to you earlier about?
Which,
We're doing zoning, never mind.
this is zoning. Okay, safety coating on the floor. Probably going to be started end of September, mid-September, end of September. We're just waiting for the contractor to confirm a date. Feasibility study. Urban Systems will be coming on December 7th. Now, they took me yesterday, so it was too late to update this.
Yeah.
Solid waste RFP is still being worked on. The emergency response plan is going to be started. And we have a clause, there's going to be a clause in the contract of the people who are doing it, stating that they will update the plan when the new act comes out at no charge. It's included in the package. Okay.
Girl.
RCM Hero Cafes, the development plan. Website is well underway. We're on schedule to be up and running in November. I don't know anything about three-phase power.
The hydro, BC Hydro needs a call, because they have
For what?
because they have to move, because the 3-phase is behind the post
We're not
office.
looking at that. We're looking at a generator with three-phase power.
Actually, we're looking at a converter.
Oh, okay. It's changed since I
Both
last.
wrong.
Okay, and then as far as the lagoon, they actually started yesterday or today. They went in to start pumping to get ready to do the repairs. And the radios, I don't think, he doesn't have them all yet. And the one last grant, which was the FCC, Farm Credit Canada grant, they don't make a decision until October, November. So we won't know yet. Steamer, and then, okay, there,
And then
now I'm done.
Nothing about the lagoon, because the intake, remember,
About the lagoon?
the transfer to the lagoon?
Oh, no, I have received, that one also is the fall.
Yeah. So I just thought.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now I'm finished.
Okay.
I don't want to say any more.
Counselor calendars.
Do you see I put all your election stuff on there?
If we could just make a correction on September 30th, it's National Truth and Reconciliation Day. Indigenous Peoples' Day takes place in June, so don't get those two mixed up.
So what is it?
So on the 30th is National Truth and Reconciliation Day, because Indigenous Peoples' Day takes place in June. National Truth and Reconciliation Day, it's on the 30th, and most orange shirt days will take place the day before on the 29th, so be aware of that as well.
Okay.
Reports. Counselor Peters. Counselor Smith. Nothing. It's been summer. Counselor Beach.
I went over to see the firefighters on the 29th. I had to drop some of the booklets I borrowed from Blair when I was doing all that research on the fire department for our information package. So decided to pop in there and visit with them and see how everybody was doing. They were doing their regular Monday training, so talked a little bit about the town hall. Some of our members of the community are also part of the volunteer fire department, so I reminded them, I let them know what's happening on the day it's not happening anymore. We moved it, I forget what day it was before.
What even day is it, the 20th?
The 20th, yeah. So, yeah, I talked to them a little bit about that. And I'm going to be attending the 9/11 tribute thing on September 10th. So I'm going to go, yeah, so I'll see you there. So that's, I'm definitely planning that. And other than that, it's just been random things. Instead, I had a resident talk to me about the no through road sign. And I remarked that it's on the village office, but and then I actually mentioned the yard issue that they're having. So it's just been kind of random people reaching out, but and that, yeah.
What else?
Nothing council related. So busy Sunday, nothing council related.
I'm so busy with search and rescue.
Okay, so I just have one question. So Sandy, Cushman Library, I ran out of money. The employee quit due to not enough funds. Sandy, what was the budget we gave them this year? Can we extend them money to match last year's budget?
We're looking into it. Yeah, yes.
Okay. And why doesn't the field get moved?
They will look into that.
Yeah, and then, and then a bylaw for prohibiting, people going into buildings or, condemned buildings.
So it could be trespassing.
No. So if we can have that.
That's a first. Who's seconding?
Can I get a seconder?
How does that work? Okay, explain this to me. I gotta
Yeah, I'll second it and let's have a discussion about this. Because I want to see
So
where
if you
you're
have a condemned building,
Yeah.
we don't have a bylaw to stop anybody from
Is it condemned?
Wouldn't it be
It's
public?
not, it's not condemned.
or burnt or anything, empty building.
But, so there's a process, like from an emergency to end of things, there's a process, like the building's burnt out, there's assessments for it, and certain assessment levels, or the fire department, or somebody at an assessor will say if it's safe to go into the retrieve items versus occupancy is different, kind of thing. But if they don't own the building, if they own the building and they go on and they get hurt, would not be on them, but if they don't own the building.
I had
they
a
would be-
conversation with a person today,
Yeah.
and that's what he said, we should have that bylaw.
Can we, sorry.
Can we make that motion?
Well, can we change it to like looking in?
Looking
If
into
an
it.
option?
Yeah, well,
option
she's not
that we
doing
can
it
have?
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just looking into it.
It won't happen tomorrow.
Well, I know that,
I
but
can
like,
guarantee it's not gonna happen until probably after October 15th.
It probably
Yeah.
We'll
not
look into it
January.
slowly, but yes, we can, and
Look
we usually
into
look
the
into other municipalities
And I
to see
know the
what
city
kind
of Dawson
of.
Creek has that.
oh,
So, the motion is to look into it, right?
Yeah. And you have a seconder, you've got a seconder.
Yeah.
All in favor?
okay.
And Marnie?
Oh,
Oh, wait,
we're ending.
before we end, did you want to discuss the roof across the roof?
Oh, yes. I think that we should, let them go ahead and fix that roof. I'm all for it, I've seen their work.
Right?
I would really like to know where our CAO stands with this.
Nothing like put in the hot seat.
Is that an item we need to move to any county?
Probably.
I had a discussion and it was agreed that a tarp would be fine, and then it went sideways. And I'm not sure if this should be, because somebody's changed their mind along the way and done something else and went another route. I don't know if we should change our position. Our CAO had made a decision, we had come to an agreement, and it was decided. And I thought it was absolutely fine. And our CAO was totally down with it.
Danielle?
Yeah, my biggest concern is just the insurance aspect. Just because we were talking about two elderly gentlemen working on a roof of a trapper's cabin, and my only concern is if somebody falls, slips, or takes a nail to the eyeball, who's that on? That's my biggest concern.
It would be on your notes.
So, and now the reason why I brought up what like the job thing is because like, okay, in my job, if I stand on a ladder to hang something and I fall off, right? Yes, okay, I would be covered, but if I'm standing on a ladder outside so I can get onto the roof and fix the fan, that's not my job. So that's not technically my job description. So then I'm doing something outside of my allowable duties under WCB. Is that not a thing? Because that's a thing at my job, and it's a union job.
That is.
That isn't, so it might be different topics.
Barb?
We had the chair of the museum say that all the people were 66 or up. I would like to go with the tarp and have someone come and have professionals look at it. So it's professionally done and that in the
Well,
spring.
it would be professionally done.
In
red and less. Right.
Yeah, there is
Nothing
no
wrong.
concern about qualifications. My concern is that an agreement was made. And it was sidetracked. And
So we
our
have time.
building it's our building, we're responsible for it. And I know that it would be cheaper, and I know that there are people on the museum board that are willing, and here is the big crunch, is that they do have artifacts in that building that they are sincerely concerned about.
And that's why they
And
want it
that
done.
is,
That's why they want it done. My husband will be up there, Skylar and Terry will be up there helping. Don't kid yourself. It won't be those guys. That's it.
Okay, I have one more insurance question. Would insurance still cover it if non-licensed contractors did the work? That's my other question.
If it's
It's the
installed,
technicalities I'm worried we're gonna get
if
busted
it's
on.
installed to the manufacturer specifications.
And so we would have it like inspected afterwards and then, how does that?
So look at it this way. What's the loss here? So right now, like, and I understand the tarp idea was original, and that was a great idea to come up with as a temporary fix. But looking at the pictures and stuff, like, the edges are rough.
Yeah.
And he definitely needs
He's
to stop.
fixed the edges.
And he's fixed the edges and stuff,
Yes.
so it's one of those things, it could get through this year with the tarp and then look at next year with better weather. But it's also one of those things from the contractor's perspective, I'd get on that sooner rather than later. And the only thing is, as I've seen like with building projects and stuff, is the cost of what it's gonna cost tomorrow for those gentlemen to go buy the material and fix it is going to increase by 10 to 20% by next year. At the same time, or even by next spring, in order to do that same job, the price is gonna go up on it, and kind of thing. And it might be something we'll look at, is put it out to members of the community and say, hey, the museum needs this, who's willing to come help, and see if there's, because there might be local contractors that are willing to step up and help them do it, so you don't have the 60, 70-year-old guys climbing up on the roof. And it'd be at no cost to the village, it'd be something like that. So it's one of those things, it's very much a pound of cures, or an ounce of cures with a pound of, yeah. It's one of those things, like a little bit of preventive maintenance now can prevent a lot of issues from happening, but the tarp is still acceptable to get through the winter. But the problem is if the tarp breaks in the middle of winter or rips, or we get a nasty storm, now it's exposed to the elements all winter, and now it's extremely unsafe to go to recover again.
I understand that part of it. My concern is that there is a village building. money was being asked for at that point to purchase materials to fix that roof. No, it wasn't going to happen. It was going to be a capital and special project. Can we agree to a TARP? Yes, we can agree to a TARP. It has changed. And now, I'm absolutely astounded and delighted that our museum board is willing to purchase those materials. So now this is a different thing.
Okay, so what's the issue? I don't see the issue. I don't see an issue that they're fixing a roof that needs to be fixed when they have artifacts in there.
And at no cost to us.
And it's no cost us. I have no issue.
Just saying, just putting the facts out there.
So I'll put a motion on the floor that they can go ahead and fix the roof at their cost. And can I get a second?
Can we make an amendment to that, provided that the appropriate insurance?
Yeah, I said the insurance is the only thing that worries me.
Yeah. As long as you have the insurance.
And yeah, with that amendment also.
All in favor?
Hold on. Motion for the museum to proceed with the repairs.
Yes.
Provided.
Of
we
the
have-
roof. Of the trapper's roof.
Provided they have
Adequate
adequate.
insurances and WCB.
Yeah, and we'll leave that up to the staff to verify and make sure that's. What are they gonna do? Come knock on my door and be like, here Marcel, here's our paperwork, and I'll be like, cool, my tools are inside my truck.
You can help, I can have Les email it to me and I'll email it to you, Sandy, then you don't have any contact with them, if that's what you want.
That's not the issue. Okay, who's seconding this?
Okay, myself. All in favor?
All
You
opposed?
were opposed?
Yes, with the protocol not followed.
Sorry?
Yeah, I mean,
What protocol, sorry, what protocol's not being followed?
well, it was Marlene's portfolio. She was handling it. She went through the right channels, went to the CAO.
Yeah.
They had agreed.
But then circumstances changed, so now we're dealing with a new set of circumstances, because before that was involving village money, and that was a great option, because we didn't have, we had to build it into the project, and we had that process. But now that they're putting the bill for it, it negates that process, does it not?
But it's not supporting our CAO or our counselor that has the portfolio.
All in favor? You get that? Okay, Marlene, now it's your turn.
Can you call opposed, please?
Oh, opposed?
You guys want to note it?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, everybody do your.
Okay. In camera, oh, yes, in camera as per section 91M of the charter. Do you want me to read all that? Thank you.
Okay, guys, good vote.
Seconder?
Can I get a second?
Can you do it? Do the old.
Oh, I want to see it.
Oh,
Watch it.
yeah. Well, you know what? It's better